Good morning and welcome back to the Adventures of Mac and Anthea. In today's video we're going to be adding some extra bling from AliExpress to my recent bicycle build. Now all these products, as I say, are from AliExpress. I am affiliated to AliExpress, so if you do hit those links, you know I will be making a small amount of commission. That said, you will get an honest opinion of the products. I never sort of shamelessly recommend stuff without trying it first. So anyway, let's move along and see what products we've got. Okay, so these are all the products we're going to be adding today. We're going for tasteful rather than tacky, but we'll have to see how it turns out. As you can probably see, we've got a bit of a red theme going on here. So we've got pedals. They look quite good. We've got two bells which don't look good. They came as two. I don't know if it comes up on the picture, but they're actually they're two different shades of colour here, and this isn't lined up properly in the centre. I did order another bell, but that hasn't come. That's stuck at an airport in China. But anyway, we're going to fit this one temporarily for now and see if that one actually releases from the airport and makes it here. Next up, we've got some handlebars with the sort of red theme going on again here on the trims. We've got red valve covers. We've got red bolts, which I'm not even keen on straight away. I'm not keen on them, and I don't recommend. Whatever they're coated in is sort of chipping off and coming off in different places. I know you have to get up close to look at the detail, but if you're changing bolts, that's what you're going for, attention to detail. So yeah, couldn't recommend them. These are very nice. These are end caps for the actual handlebars. Quite a bit of weight in them, but I'm not really bothered about weight. You know, my riding into the standard where a few grams here and there is going to make a great deal of difference. Plus, it's an e-bike. Then we've got these little things. They go over the brake levers, give you a little bit of extra grip. These go over the cables, which protect the frame from the cables rubbing over time. And this bit, which I've already fitted, is actually a derailleur adjuster, or you could use it as a brake adjuster. You put it in midline, and if you're out on the trail and your derailleur goes out of sync for whatever reason, you could quickly adjust it up on the trail until you get home and do a more permanent repair. And these are just cable clips, sort of a cable organisation. So we're going to start at the top, I think, and work our way down, because we've got all the bits on the actual workbench, and then I'll lift the bike up onto the bench at the end so we can fit the pedals. I'm going to swap out the bell. People may question whether you need a bell or not. I always put a bell on our bicycles because obviously we go out on trails in the countryside. People, when they're hiking and biking, tend to tune out and switch off and take in the beauty, and probably not paying as much attention as they should be, and tend to wander out straight in front of you. Or cyclists are very often guilty of, you know, pedalling hard with their heads down and not really looking where they're going. So it's handy just to have that bell to give a bit of warning. They don't always appreciate it, but they'll appreciate it a whole lot more than me crashing into them. Okay, so I'm going to do this as best I can. I'm going to do it a bit keck-handed because obviously I need you to see it in the camera. But this is quite an easy job. We're just loosening the end of these. The good thing about these grips is they're not actually stuck to the handlebar like many are, then you have to sort of pull them off. Though these will just slide off. I've had them off when I put all the components on for the e-bike conversion. So yeah, quick unscrew, he says. End cap out. Alright, we've got to loosen the Allen bolt on here. Okay, and we're off. Okay, and new one's on. Slip them on. They look to be slightly shorter, I think, than the original. So yeah, we'll have to shunt all this up this way a bit, but hey, no problem. Okay, and we'll get that end cap in at the same time, I think. So end cap, really nice quality. I really like these. That's just going to slot in, hopefully, he says, like that. Yeah. So let's get that tightened up, and then we'll tweak these up. Now, I'm not sure if these ends aren't more aimed at motorcycles, but I don't think it matters. Okay, they're really tight into the handlebar ends. I'm going to just shunt them back under there, and I think I'm going to have those Allen keys out of sight underneath. Okay, that's done. They both look nice, both good components. I'll shunt these up in a bit, but I'm going to replace these bolts anyway. So yeah, we'll do that in a bit. Okay, so quite a bit of fettling off screen to get these on and lined up nicely so they look right, but they're nothing too bad. Yeah, and they look quite nice. I think what we'll do is we'll try these one on this side as well, see if these are going to slide on, how easy they go on. May need softening up if you're in a colder climate, but we're going to hit 40 degrees today, so no worries of that here. And nice and tight on there. Right to the end. Okay, they look alright. Not really sure about those. I think they may come off, and I think they might get a bit grimy over time as well, but hey, we'll see how well they work from a practical point of view. Okay, that's to the bell as well while we're here. Well, that's that. That's junk, that's rubbish. That was a factory second, I think, from the start. I'll try and get the other one on as well, but these really need to bend enough and have enough flex in them so you can actually get them over instead of having to take everything off just to get the doorbell on. Second go with the other one. Gently does it. Is it going to go on? Yeah, that one's alright. And we're looking like the actual screw's not long enough either. Let's have one more go. Yeah, so I'm going to have to find a longer screw for that. I think it's pretty safe to say that's pretty much a rubbish product and to be avoided. Okay, so I'll move on to the other side. It's going to be basically a repeat of what you've just seen, so I won't film that, and then we'll move on to something else. So that's both sides done. We've got to move these up anyway, so let's try some bolts. I'll take that one at a time. Let's quickly check to see they fit. I think I might put a bit of thread lock on these. These originals do have thread lock on. Oh, that's one on the floor, thank you. Okay, I quite like them, so I can get some thread lock on them and move that brake lever up. Okay, so I shunted everything up the handlebar. I haven't got a bolt, unfortunately, for the gear shifter, so I'm just tweak these up. Okay, there's just one thing worthy of note I have just found. With the added thickness here to the actual brake lever with the rubber, there's less gap for your fingers between the brake lever and the sort of shift down. So yes, I'll try that on the trail. If it's no good and I'm finding, you know, it's getting in the way and there's not enough room, these will have to come off. Okay, so I think we'll work our way across and we'll switch these out, these bolts as well. I'll just do that and I'll bring you back in. Okay, and that's the final one of them in. Just tweak them up a bit diagonally. These are specifically made, these bolts that I've got, and I've put actually in the grips as well, in the brake levers, are actually specifically made and designed for the actual bracket here on the handlebars. Okay, was quite critical of them before, but from a distance actually you can't really tell that it's a bit thin, the plating in places. They look all right. Okay, so that's all the stuff done on the handlebars. These are good. The end cap's brilliant. The handlebar grips are. Bell's rubbish, won't buy it. These are okay, providing I get my fingers sort of in here to release. Nuts aren't brilliant, but you have to get really close to see that actually the coating's coming off in places, but I couldn't recommend them. I've done the other side. Also taking the opportunity to move some of these around because this bicycle's a new build. It's only got 8 kilometres on it at the minute. I'm still going through the process of getting rid of any bugs of the electrical and it's just been converted. So yeah, I took the opportunity to move these about, so it fell back to my hands where I liked them. So I think what we're going to do now is, oh sorry, just mentioned this. This is the adjuster one which I did before, and the cable separators. Okay, so I think let's get on for the one we've all been waiting for. Let's get the pedals on. Okay, so I love my bicycle stand and half and harp on about how easy it is to work on, but I don't find it particularly easy when you're doing anything concerning the pedals or the pedal shaft or anything, and that's why we're up on the workbench. I've got a block, a concrete block and a block of wood under the other pedal to stop it from turning, and I'm just going to loosen this one off. And carefully so I don't scratch the bars here. It's come off quite easy. It's got, see the thread lock on there for when I fitted them. Okay, let's just check we've got the right pedal here. I'm pretty sure these are handed. Yeah, that's the right one, so we'll get some thread lock on there. Okay, that seems pretty tight. Okay, they're a lot slimmer than the original ones. Those are quite chunky, the other ones, quite like the old ones. They might end up going on my touring bike. Yeah, but we'll give them a go anyway and see how we get on. So I'm going to spin the bike round. I won't bore you with the whole thing again, and then we'll have a final look at the components. Okay, so that's more or less all the modifications we're going to be doing for now. All the end caps look pretty good, the handlebar grips, quite like these. I've added these off camera just to protect the frame. The other side, the cable's a bit narrow, so I'll probably have to reorder them for some ones that will take a fatter cable. Pedals are on. We already had this cog when we did the e-bike conversion, and also the derailleur guard is something I fitted as well previously. Valve cap ends, they fitted nice, they work well, so I'll stick a link to them. And I think that's basically it. Now there's quite a few videos on this bike. This is the final bike build. We're in the testing stages now on the e-bike conversion, where I actually housed all the cables inside the frame and everything. There's about 4 videos on that. I'll link them on the end, and there's some ones where I've actually changed the forks as well. There's a video I'll link in at the end, because I've had problems with the head bearings, a common problem, loosening off, and I've added an accessory inside here which goes up the full length and sort of clamps it together. So I'll link that video into the end as well, just in case you're interested in that. Now, for the time being, that's all the modifications I'm going to do. Modifications in the future, I think, is we're definitely going to have a seat dropper in through here, which is going to be challenging, because firstly I've got all the cabling through here for the electronics inside this tube where you'd normally put the cable through. But I'm thinking I could probably switch one of these out, say for a double one, and run the cable through here and maybe drop it down through here to this point through here and then take it up. That's the only thing I can think of doing. So that's going to be a modification in the future. We may be switching out to Derailleur, because this has got like a cheap Chinese brand, which works well. It's a bit clunky, but the gears are precise and it works well. So we'll see how we go over time, and we may switch over to actually some 4-pot Shimano brakes as well. But we'll see how it goes on the test run. At the minute I'm still in the testing period and checking out and seeing if we can get rid of any bugs that are actually in the conversion. So I think all that remains is to thank you for watching. Please check out any links in the description. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.